The armature is the central part of your power tool's motor. It consists of windings, the commutator, a cooling fan, and the drive shaft. The armature along with the field create an electromagnetic field that causes the armature to spin. The carbon brushes transfer electricity to the armature through the commutator. Over time, the commutator will wear from this constant contact. If the tool is overloaded, the armature can overheat and the insulation around the windings will burn away, creating a short circuit. When this occurs, there will be excessive sparking from the motor brushes and smoke or a burning smell from the motor. Replacing the armature is a repair that you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you how.
Hi, I'm Mark Socha.
Do-it-yourself repairs like these are easier than you might think. From lawn machines to cordless drills, kitchen mixers,
Outdoor grills.
our how-to videos walk you through each repair from start to finish. So doing it yourself means never having to do it alone.
Let's get started.
I'll begin by removing the rear motor cover. Now I'll remove the motor brushes. First the wire lead, then I'll pull the brush spring out of the way and remove the brush. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I'll separate the gear case from the motor. And pull the armature from the motor housing. With the armature removed, now I can remove the pinion gear. Now I'll remove the bearing from the armature. I put some rubber vise jaws on my vise, and I'll clamp the armature in the vise. Then I'll use 2 screwdrivers to carefully pry the bearing off of the armature. I want to be careful that I don't damage the fan. Now remove the bearing from the commutator side of the armature. There's no stop when pressing this bearing into place, so I'll need to take note of how far the bearing is pressed onto the armature shaft. There's a little more than a 1/16 of an inch of the inner armature shaft extending out past the inner bearing race, so I'll note that measurement for when I go to reinstall the bearing on the new armature. To remove the bearing, I'll place it inside of a bearing separator. Then I'll place the separator over the jaws on my vise. And I'll use a punch inside the hole on the end of the armature shaft to tap the armature out of the bearing. I'll also remove the plastic washer. Now I can install the new armature. I'll place the plastic washer over the shaft on the commutator end and reinstall the bearing we just removed. I'll place the bearing onto the shaft and use a socket to tap it into place. And I'll check my progress until I have that 1/16 of an inch of the inner shaft extending out past the race. And that looks good. Now I'll reinstall the bearing on the fan end of the armature. I'll place the metal bracket over the armature first. You'll notice on one side there's a bit of a hub, and that hub should be pointed down or towards the fan. Then I'll place the bearing onto the armature shaft and use a socket to tap it into place. Now reinstall the armature gear. Now I'll install the armature back into the motor housing. I'll line up the tabs on the baffle with the cutouts in the baffle ring. Now I can reinstall the gearbox. And the switch should be on the left side of the motor. Now I'll reinstall the brushes. I'll finish up by reinstalling the rear motor housing. And now you know how to install a new armature in your power tool. Be sure to check back often for new videos and expert advice. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up.
And leave a comment.